Imagine a serene, remote lake in New Mexico, surrounded by the silence of nature, interrupted only by the laughter and chatter of two camping groups nestled under the vast, starlit sky. Two distinct groups of campers find solace in this tranquil setting. My husband's family and I, a group of 10, find ourselves bonding over smoky campfires and the rich, sweet taste of s'mores. A stone's throw away, a lively group of 6 echoes our sentiment, their cheerful banter blending with ours into the still night air. The night, draped in an inky blanket of tranquility, breathes life into our stories, each anecdote more intriguing than the last. As the embers of our campfire crackle and pop, their fiery dance casting long, flickering shadows, we lose ourselves in the peaceful lull of the wilderness. But as the night grew darker, a sudden, chilling sound pierced the tranquility. From the depths of the darkness, a little girl's voice echoed, pleading for help. A chilling wave of uncertainty swept across the campsite as the cry pierced the tranquility of the night. The flickering campfire, once a beacon of warmth and safety, now cast ominous shadows, as if hinting at the unseen terror lurking just beyond the light's reach. The campers, engrossed in their cheerful camaraderie, were taken aback. Their laughter died down, replaced by a shared sense of confusion. The fact was, there were no children among them. The youngest of the group was a 20-year-old college student, far from the tender age of the voice they had just heard. Their minds raced, attempting to rationalize the situation. Could it be an echo, a trick of the wind, or perhaps a nearby camper's radio? But the cry was too real, too raw, too terrifying to be anything but genuine. A silent agreement passed between them. This was no time for speculation, it was a time for action. They decided to investigate, to find the source of the desperate plea. Fear of the unknown warred with their concern for the child. The thought of a little girl, lost and afraid in the wilderness, spurred them on. They grabbed flashlights, their beams slicing through the darkness, and set off into the night with a mix of fear and concern. They ventured towards the mysterious sound. They were about to step into a world of horror, a world where reality and nightmare would become indistinguishable. As they approached the field behind the campsites, a tall, white figure emerged from the darkness. The figure stood as a stark contrast against the inky black night, a beacon of unnatural luminosity. It was tall, perhaps 6 feet or more, and unusually skinny, like a scarecrow bereft of stuffing. The pure white hue of this figure was almost blinding, like the first snowfall of winter under a full moon. It was a specter, an apparition that seemed to flicker in and out of existence, as if caught between two worlds. The group stood frozen, their hearts pounding in their chests like a drum beat echoing in the silent night. The figure was about 100 feet away, its form wavering, as if dancing to the rhythm of the wind. It was an enigma, a mystery that drew them in, their curiosity overpowering the primal fear that gnawed at their minds. With a collective decision, they began to inch closer, their eyes never leaving the ethereal figure. It was as if they were drawn by invisible strings, their bodies moving of their own accord. Yet, as they approached, the figure started to retreat, backing away slowly. It was as though it was mirroring their actions, maintaining the distance between them. The figure moved with an eerie grace, like a wisp of smoke being carried away by a gentle breeze. It backed off into the thick line of trees that marked the edge of the field, disappearing from sight. Yet even as it vanished, its presence lingered, a ghostly imprint on their minds. As the figure disappeared, the group was left with nothing but the chilling echo of the little girl's voice. The cry for help seemed to resonate in the air, a haunting melody that chilled them to their bones. Their eyes were drawn to the spot where the figure had stood, a patch of untouched snow in a field of darkness. The mystery of the white figure remained an enigma, woven into the fabric of the night. Back at the campsite, the once joyous atmosphere was now filled with unease and fear. The crackle of the dying fire was the only sound that dared challenge the haunting cries echoing through the night. The group huddled together, their eyes wide and alert, each noise from the surrounding wilderness jolting them further on edge. They tried to sleep. Oh, how they tried, but each attempt was futile, their minds refusing to succumb to the lull of dreams, for fear of what those dreams might become. The once comforting embrace of their sleeping bags now felt like a potential shroud, the darkness of their tents a suffocating void. The night was long, agonizingly so. Time seemed to stretch, each passing minute feeling like an hour. The cries continued, punctuating the silence, a chilling reminder of the unknown entity lurking just beyond their sight. The moon, once a beacon of light in the vast darkness, now seemed to cast long, ominous shadows that danced and twisted with every gust of wind. The rustle of leaves, the snap of a twig, each sound was a symphony of dread that played on their frayed nerves. As dawn approached, the cries ceased, leaving behind a silence more terrifying than the night. The morning brought relief, but also a sea of unanswered questions. The group found themselves entrapped in a whirlpool of speculations and discussions. The events of the previous night seemed almost unreal in the daylight, yet the echo of the little girl's voice was still fresh in their minds. They pondered, could it have been a trick of the forest, an auditory illusion perhaps? Or was it something more sinister, something that lurked in the shadows, preying on their fears? They debated about the tall, white figure that they had seen. Was it a mere figment of their collective imagination, or was it indeed a creature from the unknown, a specter that haunted the remote lake? None of the theories seemed to fit perfectly, leaving a mystery as chilling as the night itself. The group could not find a rational explanation, and the enigma of the previous night remained unsolved. As they packed their belongings, they couldn't shake off the chilling question, who or what was the little girl calling for help?